fork yesterday. Now I start on the handlebar. Always a theme when I make a conversion to an e-bike is to protect the display. Normally I would dislocate it lower than the handlebar up in the frame. But I like this solution too. It is like a 1917 crossbar which you would see on motocross motorcycles. They usually protect the upper torso. So for me it has multi-purpose. The first thing is that it protects the display, which is very good because when the display is broken the system shuts down. Second is that you can still mount any accessory you like to mount on a handlebar. It will fit. Has even different diameters, so that should be handy too. The third thing is that you can easily flip over the bike if you have to do some repair on the tube. Right, if you would flip the bike for repairing the tire, you couldn't do that because it would interfere with everything on the handlebar. Yeah, that's the idea. Like it very much how it came out. As you can see, I marked the middle. It's not finally mounted yet. So take a breath. I know that it's short to one side, but I use the middle as a reference and go left and right. And I look that I'm just above the brake mount, because I think that looks nice. And second thing is, if you cut it here, there's no way it will interfere with your hand if you do the braking because it's recessed. So that is nice as well. And I'm not sure what I will do for finishing it up later. I thought already to maybe just put some grips up here for closing this off, but we will see. So next step is I will trace the mark around and then I will cut it with my metal saw or with my angle grinder, not sure yet. I think that looks good. I think later the red tube cable tubes will look great on that bike. I like it very much already. Yeah, go ahead. What the cables? The red really pops, and the black ones are the electric wire from the throttle, the magnetic brakes, the display, and later the light will go also through this, but I wrapped it already. Don't mind to open it another time, just for make the impression I like to have. And I went with cable cover which go all the way until the end, so I will never have the problem, for example, if I really fit the controller back, that the back will interfere with the cables which are normally running like openly here. Second thing is I hate it when I carry my bike and the cables are open. You always have the grease on your fingers, so I like that idea. So before I painted the frame, I drilled the hole through so I could fit the cover from the cable through it. And here at the end, I don't know if you can see, this one was the only point where I would have a problem, because normally it would go out, and I used the old adjuster from a gear set, and threaded it in there, so it looks nice and clean, and this goes nowhere, so I'm very confident it will hold. So next will be cleaning up some parts, buying some stuff which is necessary, and just go ahead. Okay, here we can see the 3 different versions from Torsion Bars. So the first one I have up here, it's the generic one which comes with the e-bike kit. They look quite ugly when you install them, especially if you use the hose clamp. So mostly if I use them, I put the nutsert at the point where it enters the frame. It looks much better, and mostly I paint them black, so you can't see them that much. The second version I have here, these are made from stainless steel. They fit a certain range of frames, so they are bolt on. They are stainless steel, they look nice. Surely a good mid-range torsion bar. As you can see, they are like 4mm stainless steel. Okay, and the last version we have here, of course, like you can make a generic bracket like the one out of stainless steel. You can also custom fabricate. So here you see an example of custom fabrication. It is very time consuming if you want to have it nice. So this would be the custom version of my torsion bars. So as you can see, I have a good solution for every kind of build. Let's see where we stand. So I finished the bash bar or the crossbar or whatever you want to call it. It's now really on it. Measurements are all correct, so that it's nice and in the middle. And every switch and cable is connected. So start here. This bike will later have light. So here I will have light on off. Here I will have a horn, which is built in the headlight. Then I have the controls for the LCD. And here's the throttle. And what else? Yeah, I route the cable as they are later. And put the lamp on and the fender, because this bike will be equipped with lights and mudguards, because it's my daily ride. And yeah, everything looks nice. So I prepared some stuff and I finished the work, which I can make on the bike like it is. I had to change the wire harness a little bit because the light I want to build in was a little bit short, so I had to extend it, but nothing really dramatic. I temporarily mounted the front fender. As you can see, I have this light. It came with one of my bike kits, and this bracket used to be straight, and then it would like wiggle all the time. So I bent the bottom down so it goes around, that it has a better grip. So everything looks fine so far. I cleaned up the wiring here in front. So one central cable. Later it will be tucked between the red cables. You will still see it, but it's not so obviously. Yeah, I'm very satisfied so far. Because this will be always a work in progress, because I want to have maybe a back rack and a tail light with signal lights and brake light. I think later I will mount the controller under the back rack, as I usually would do when I have one. And for the beginning I just put the good old trusted back. Cleaned the parts. So here's my rear mudguard. Here's the controller back. I will use it first. The derailleur, side stand, one nice motorized wheel on the wheel. Had to change something. It came with this ring connectors, and as you can see, the controller has more or less waterproofed bullet connectors. So I sourced the female part of it and crimped it on, and I think I have a neat trick. So normally you can't use one shrink tube because here it's a factor 3 which it can shrink, but if you would go from this cable to this socket it would be more than 3 times, so it wouldn't crimp properly. So what I did, I connected the connector, and after that I wrapped the insulation tape until I had a fair thickness. Then I pushed the shrink tube over it, and melted it down. And I think that looks very clean. Just a little tip. And I maybe think about to make the same here, that I wrap this with insulation tape and then put a shrink tube over, that there is no opening in the backside. Just a little precaution. Here's my plus wire for the lights. It is just, as you can see, just goes off my main battery connector. So the next what would come here is fuse. I think 4 amps would be enough. Fuse, and then it goes into the wireless harness to the lamp, to the horn. So I'm mounting the torsion bars. As you can see, here are the islands, and they're the same in the frame. So when I put this in, it goes inside the frame, and yeah, it keeps the wheel from twisting. Custom made torsion bar. So if the wheel comes loose, it will still not fall off until it's very, very bad. Hope that never happens, but I'm very happy how that turned out. And yeah, mount these, and then we're good. So I flipped the car. As you can see, the mount I made is quite stable. The display doesn't touch, even if you flip the bike at the other side. Very so nice, but I expected it. Took a long time. So finished on everything beneath, so the wheel is finished installed. I think it really looks awesome. You think that I only put like some paint on it, cleaned the parts and put it together again, I must say I think it's a real improvement. Yeah, like it. Want to buy a new cartridge bearing, and I will do on Monday. Today is Saturday evening, so there's no way I can find that at the moment. Yeah, like it very much. I can tie up the master cable from the front to the back, and yeah, then everything beneath is done. Yippee! Very important mark. So we are back. So all the cable routing and final assembly is done. Now we can focus on the battery pack. I will use a high-long down tube pack. When you're interested in improvements on this pack, which I will do on this bike too, please check out my other video. So, if you're familiar with my normal upgrades video for the high-long pack, high-long down tube, I have put two small drain holes inside the case so that when the water comes in, it can go out through these two holes. I made the cable relief, and while I screwed it down for making this arc better, I tightened it a little bit. Then I went with a big screwdriver left and right, just gave it a little tick with a hammer and tightened it down and tick, so I got this nice curve, because otherwise it would be all crooked. So it's clearly under the surface, that's good. So yeah, the internal upgrades are done. Now what comes next is the rubber plating. I will do. So I hot glued the tube under it. You should keep in mind it is not a waterproof, it's just a splash protection for the water splashing from the wheel to the tube. So now if I put this, as you can see, the water will just flow outside, and if water comes inside, it will run down the flap, so it will not ruin your electronics. So go ahead and mount it, and I put some spacers in between, because otherwise I will not be able to put this flap under the aluminium bracket. But that's I figured out already, so everything I need for mounting I put here. And I believe the lower one is aluminium, the upper ones are steel. But it doesn't matter, because I have maybe different metal materials coming together. I will put some copper paste on the threads so that they will not corrode inside. For that I have a little syringe here. It works perfectly. So you just put a little bit on the thread, and it is like a anode between two cathodes or something like that. So if there is an electrolyte flowing, it will be consumed by the copper. And it is somehow an anti-seize as well. So just use it. Born to be kings, we are princes of the universe. Here we belong, able to survive in a world of a darkest power. Yeah, battery pack is in. Normally now only the mechanicals are missing, but what does that mean? Battery is in, she's actually at 47.5 volt, that means half full, something like that. Mounted the battery. Light is not yet wired up because I'm missing a fuse. So, see, power is on. Let's fire up the display. Ooh, it does it. Let's fire up the light. Does it too. Don't be fooled. No, there is a kilometer reading, but this is in fact a brand new 1000 watt wheel. Only the rest of the periphery from the controller is like last generation I had. So I lift up the wheel. Oh, it's actually very good. Recuperative braking also works. Yeah, just for the fun of it. It's not programmed yet. It's only the standard program from setup from controller. Let's see. It stops at 60 kilometers per hour because this is the maximum limit I programmed in the last setup, because 60 kilometers is the limit for Thailand. Really, we can change that. Oh, nice. Everything's working. So, let's see, I have to shut down the display. Then you have to open the display. Within the first 5 seconds, press both buttons. It comes up, as you can see. Maximum speed is set to 60. Just for test purpose, we go to the maximum, which is 72, I believe. Yeah, it's a C. Now we press the middle button. It's 26 inch. Going with the metric setting. And good. Okay. Switch the light on again. Let's see what it does. Wow, it's really topping out the speedometer, but you have to keep in mind that this is what should I say? The wheel running was out of load. In practice, you will not hit 72 kilometers per hour, because if there are like 50 kilogram of weight from the rider and like 20 kilograms for the bike, paints other picture. But yeah, good, nice. Ta-da! So now going through everything in detail, I still have to adjust and make the brakes. As you can see, there is at the moment no bottom bracket and pedal assist system installed. This one, but other than that, everything looks well. So, we left off. Mechanical drivetrain, next station. So in the back side we have the sprocket and the derailleur already, but here in the front you can see there comes a cartridge in, and this is my old one. I think the camera can pick it up. This is the old one. It's still good, but if you go the extra mile, it's maybe worth change it, because this one, there is surely some dust in the bearings. I will not throw it away, don't get me wrong. Can use it for some experiments or something like that, but for my bicycle, I like to have it quiet. So I installed this new bottom bracket when I purchased it. There you can see the whole juggling. As you can see, it's supposed to be 1 millimeter wider, but it doesn't matter because even the old one seems a little bit short, so it doesn't hurt if it's a little bit longer. So I will go ahead, install the pedal assist sensor. As you can see, it has the left and the right side marked. The right side is where later the sprockets go on. So pedal assist sensor later will be nearly invisible behind the sprockets. And this is the counterpart which will sit on the axle. And if you do something like that, you're good off if you have a tool like that. I must say, at first I just bought a cheap bicycle repair kit in a box, and everything additional I need I buy as a single tool, and it was everything which breaks get replaced by a better quality. So tools you don't need often you still have, but in a lower quality, and tools you often use long term you will have some more quality replacing them. So this is my socket tool. I bought it from Germany. Yeah, let's install a bottom bracket. So the bottom bracket is installed. I put some grease on the threads so they went in easy. I just have to remove the rest of the grease. That's nice. And as you hear, hear nothing. That's good. So I go ahead, install crankset. Route the cable. I route the cable and then I put the crankset, I believe. And the last thing would do gear sets. Yeah. Go ahead. So, well, listen to that. I think our code is good. Now, front derailleur and the chain. Remove the battery pack that I can screw on the bracket, and yeah, go from there. A bike in its national environment. It looked weird in my apartment, I believe, but here it is. Or she is. Thing, she came out great. She looks really good from any angle. So the theme of the bike is old school, and I think it just nailed it. So have the helmet on already. Don't know exactly how I take you with me on a trip, because I have no camera holder yet, but we will see. So I hope you enjoyed the build series of this bike. I enjoyed it very much, and next time I will do a video from a test one on the street. I hope you enjoyed, and if you want to contact, please drop a mail at pinetop191@gmail.com. See you soon.